Debo Adinka. First, the major items. Government is renewing commitment to infrastructural development. House of Assembly has confirmed nomination of statutory commission members. Authorities urged to support examination bodies in curbing examination malpractices. Government has officially commenced laying of asphalt along the Alagbole Akote Road in Ifo constituency, in Ifo local government. The development is seen as a significant step in the fulfillment of promises by the government to ease the long-term burden of the people of the area. It is also a major leap aimed at improving road infrastructure and ease transportation within the axis. Speaking on the development, the Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, Engineer Ade Akinsoya, reaffirmed the commitment of the Prince Dapper Abiodun-led administration to infrastructural renewal across the state. The State House of Assembly has confirmed the nominations of the members of some statutory commissions it earlier screened last week, saying that the nominees were eligible and suitable to hold the office in consonance with the Section 108 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended. The confirmation of the nominees followed the presentation of the report of the Committee of the Whole House, chaired by the Assembly Speaker, the Right Honorable Olumide, therefore moved for its adoption and supported by the Whole House through a unanimous voice vote. The Speaker directed that the House resolution on the confirmation of the nominees be forwarded to the Governor, Prince Dapper Abiodun, for necessary action. The Assembly has observed a former state lawmaker who represented Yewa North State constituency between 1999. Honorable James Bankole, who died on the 26th of March at the age of 84. In another development, the House of Assembly, through its Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs on Monday, had an interface with stakeholders involved in the petition against unlawful claim to a coronate chief and conferment of chieftaincy title submitted to the Assembly by Ikunusi descendants chief, against one chief Adewale Adetola, parading himself around in Ijabu Mushin, Ijabu East local government of the state. The House Committee, chaired by Assemblyman Jamili Akinbade, warned the respondent to stop parading himself as a monarch, cautioning that it was only when all the processes leading to his installation had been concluded, with the approval of the State Executive Council, led by the Governor, Prince Dapper Abiodun. Assemblyman Akinbade also stressed that the respondent needed to work with all residents of the community to promote peaceful coexistence. Development Board and the State Emergency Management Agency charge on them to ensure thorough financial documentations and adherence to accountability and probity. The chairman of the committee, Assemblyman Damilare Bello, threw the challenge during the consideration of the audit report on the agencies at this assembly complex with Timos Abeokuta. Re-emphasized that the committee's objective was to promote transparency, prevent leakages, and ensure that public funds are judiciously utilized. You're listening to the state news on OGBC 90.5 FM. Government at various levels will do well to put on hands on deck to support examination bodies with modern technologies in covering examination malpractices in the country. A professor of education at the University of Ibadan, Bill Solomon, passed this across in a chart with OGBC in Abeokuta. He urged the council to ensure that the accreditation satisfies stringent criteria, while also calling the task of helping to stamp out examination malpractices in the country. The maiden edition of the Yewa Education Summit, organized by Yewa People Development Council, is holding this Tuesday, 15th, and Wednesday, 16th of April, with dignitaries and stakeholders expected at the summit, including the Governor, Prince Dapper Abiodun, who is a special guest of honor, the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Aribabu, a special guest, and the Oluwabilaru and Paramount ruler of Yewa Land. About chief host is the chairman, Yewa People Development Council, Professor Rahman Bello. The theme of the Education Summit is Repositioning Education in Yewa Land, Prospects and Challenges, with a keynote address to be presented by Professor Taiwo Edun, a professor of sociology and education and former Dean, Faculty of Education, Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agowoye. Presenters of the two-day summit holding at the Rahim Oloyo International Conference Center, Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, include Professor Sharif Bintela, Professor of Economics and former Vice Chancellor of the Crescent University, Abeokuta, Very Reverend Akumbi Orobi, former Principal General, Jewa Awori Division, Dr. Charlotte Eroy Doro, Deputy Director, Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, Professor Tulu Muleye, Director, Center for Counseling Services, Tai Shulanu University of Education, Ijagun, Ijabote, and Professor Bamikole Gule, Dean, Faculty of Education, National Open University, Abuja. The public presentation of the new Egba Central Mosque and Islamic Center by the Egba Muslim Council holds on Thursday with the theme Institution of Al-Jade, Roles of Stakeholders. The program, which is aimed at remodeling the Egba Central Mosque at Kobiti Abeokuta, will take place at the OOPL Auditorium at 11 a.m. with the Sultan of Sokoto and the President General of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Al-Aji Sa'ad Abubakar, as the principal guest of honor, while the Mufti of Ilorin Emirate, Sheikh Suleiman Oniki Jipa, is the guest. According to a statement by the chairman and the secretary Planning Committee, Alhaji Subada, and Alhaji Abdul Hakim Tunji Kalajayi, former President, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, will be on ground as the chief host. Ogun State Governor Prince Dapo Abiodun is a special guest of honor, while the President, Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, is the distinguished guest of honor. The statement adds that the program will be chaired by the Ashuju Oba of Lagos, Alhaji Razak Okoya, and the Iyasuna Latifat Kolapo Haji, and the Chief Imam of Ibala, Sheikh Sadala Bambola. The government in the Gateway State has extended a warm welcome to stakeholders who are in the state for the second Council of Sports meeting. The working visit, which begins this Tuesday, will run through Wednesday. The Commissioner for Sports Development, Honorable Wasil Isiaka, who communicated the greetings, said the meeting opportunity for and synergy among key players, particularly as the country prepares for the 22nd National Sports Festival, assuring the delegates of that the unveiling of the Gateway Games theme song and mascot will hold this Thursday at the Cinema Hall of the Cultural Center, Koto, Abeokuta, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Cooperate with government in the quest to transform the state. The effort is for the benefit of all. In on the laying of asphalt on the Alagbolia Kote Road, the government for Works and Infrastructure engineer Adi Akinsoya reiterated government's commitment to infrastructural development. The House of Assembly has confirmed the nomination of members of some statutory commissions following the presentation of the report of the Committee of the Whole. You also heard that a professor of education, Bello Solomon, has called to support examination budget. For exclusive programs and the latest news updates, please visit our website at ogunradio.com, on Facebook at Ogun Radio Abeokuta, and on X at OGBC 905 FM. You can also listen to OGBC on the radio